What makes you sad always? Death of my wife. It has been almost 13 years and I can start bawling my eyes out at the drop of a hat. Sad commercial. Country western song. Sappy movie. I just sob. She was the light of my life and the apple of my eye. We shared 29 glorious years, but it will never have been enough. She was only 50. I lost my wife to cancer after 10 years. She was 31 years old. I can only imagine the extent of your pain. I hope you have found happiness in her absence. I have remarried, and I'm happy. But I will never be whole again. My girlfriend just got cancer surgery last month. She's only my girlfriend, because we can't afford insurance if we were married. And I'm what most people would consider successful. But the bills are crazy when it comes to cancer. She's doing well as of now, but this hit home. Before, it was life as usual. But the last 6 months I started thinking about what it would be like to be a single father of a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old. Not trying to sound selfish. Of course my main concern is for her. But thinking about, and I mean really understanding it could be a real possibility. Doing it without her fucked me up a few times. Even now when I hear certain songs, or see something I get a bit teary-eyed. And I was taught to be a strong man and bear a burden so others can be weak in their time of need. By my old man. So this is pretty new to me. I've had people pass that I've cared about, but this is just different. Pull it back in quick and continue strong for the kids. I'm sorry you both dealt with this. F cancer. That there are certain people in my life who were so important to me in the past, but are gone now, like deceased or drifted away and don't want to talk to me, or were an online friend that I can't find anymore. I've been missing a few old friends a lot, and at the time, they meant the world to me. Stuff happened, and we went our separate ways. Now I would love to chat with them just to catch up. Nothing more. No hidden meaning. It's hard for me to reach out to others, so it's a big step. One I have no direct way to contact. The other, left on read. I guess it makes sense. But it hit me in the nostalgia and stings a bit right now. Make sure you tell people at some point what they meant to you. Even if that meaning has changed and faded over the years. Even if you were just thinking about the good old days and they were special. Tell them. And if you get a nice message, don't leave them on read. This comment hit really hard, man. One of my friends just went off to college and she just sorta cut contact. She has no idea, but she meant the world to me. She was the one person who paid attention to me and took me in when I was the weird new kid. She had no idea and I guess she never will. Yeah. I'm sorry my dude. It's been a long time for me. But I've been thinking about some friends that were really close to me when I first started college. We all worked together and they had a huge influence on my tastes in music and culture and other stuff. We spent so many hours together and yeah, they were good to me. Even though I'm a spaz. Or at least I was then. I might still be. The one I looked up to like an older brother for a few years and I don't think I'll ever get to tell him. Man. I just want him to know that. It's a terrible feeling. Especially since if I send her a message it'll be ignored. It's all certainly not made easier due to the current circumstances in the world, but it'll get better. Godspeed to ya my friend. Same to you. I messaged my friend, and it seems like he read it, but decided not to respond. I guess if nothing else he knows someone is thinking about him in a positive way. Maybe he doesn't need that, but I know I like hearing that. Maybe your friend will leave you on read, too. But at least you can say how much that friendship meant, and put it out there. If that doesn't move someone, well, I don't know. Sometimes I'll be telling a story, and I don't think anyone is listening. So I just stop in the middle. And I'm right. I have a friend who can't stand being interrupted, and will always let you know. So over time, in order to not offend him, I would develop a way to listen to him. And others who interrupted his story, when they were done I would ask him to resume, by repeating the last thing he said, showing that I was still engaged in his conversation. I do this also with my brother-in-law's wife, since people tune her out after a minute of her talking. And I experience it myself being the youngest in my family and always overshadowed by my older siblings' more interesting problems. You can see on their face that they are happy that at least one person was still interested in what they had to say and asked for them to resume their story before so rudely being interrupted. It's not your fault obviously. Most people are just waiting for you to stop moving their lips so they can speak and top your story or tell something more interesting. I wish I had a friend like you. Happy Cake Day Bill's theorem. Be that friend to someone else and you'll attract those friends back. My mom passed away recently at only 49 years old. My biggest fear was losing her. I can barely function anymore and feel like I lost my will to live. My life feels surreal now. Every time I think of her I'm so beyond devastated, it's indescribable. Hey there. I just lost my dad in June and I feel for you. The hardest part for me is still having a microsecond of a feeling like I have to call him or talk to him about something the next time we have a visit. It stings every single time and leaves me feeling pretty hollow. I hope you don't ever lose your reason for living though. There is nothing I can say to take away the sorrow. But something that helps me a very little bit is thinking about how I shouldn't stop doing things in my life that would have made my dad proud. It's the very least I can do to honor him. And I think your mother would maybe feel the same for you by the sound of it. My mom passed 5 years ago and it still crosses my mind that I need to call her to check in or tell her something ridiculous. One, if my kids did, hits me in the chest every time. The way I treat others in the past. Feeling sad about it shows that you have a heart and learned from it and that you have done and will do better. That's a positive. That's all dandy and all, but you still feel like a fucking piece of shit. In grade school during baseball practice I called this kid with a bigger than normal chin. Crimson Chin. I have no clue why I called him that, but once I did, multiple people called him it to the point he went home crying. That was almost 12 years ago, and to this day I'll see pictures of him on Instagram with his buddies and he'll be holding his drink in his hand in an awkward position right in front of his chin. You can absolutely tell he's still insecure about it. I'm probably responsible for that insecurity. I think about it all the time and I genuinely feel like a piece of shit. Never too late to reach out and apologize, my man. I have, and it works out better than you would expect. The problem with apologies is the only person that feels better is the person that caused the hurt. Apologizing doesn't take away the hurt and insecurities. Seeing someone disappointed in me, it's the same look in their eyes. One of the things I most regret is disappointing my 2nd grade teacher. It's been 12 years now, and I still think about it. She taught me so many important things in life. I was late to school a lot, so she made a calendar for me where, if I go to class on time every day for a month, then she'll buy me a prize. I remember she bought me a Geronimo Stilton book, and another time she got me a sketchbook because I like to draw. She also taught me how to read. We read Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and she'll explain to me what I just read. I could pronounce the words from the page, but a lot of times I didn't know what I just read. She went out of her way to help make me into a better person, and I stole someone's Pokemon cards. I admitted that I did it because I felt so guilty, and I remember the disappointment in her eyes. Probably one of the worst things I could imagine. If I had one chance to fix something in my past, it would be to beat some sense into my 7-year-old Dumbus. If she's still around, I know she'd love to hear what an impact she made on you and what you're up to now. Lol. Haven't been up to much. School, basketball, anime, and that's about it. I'll let her know when I found the cure for cancer. Well, the fact that you did not continue stealing and became a somewhat decent human being, at least you seem to be one to me, will be enough for her. Sometimes just being reminded that other people acknowledge and appreciate your existence is enough to make them happy. The smallest actions can have the deepest impact.